I think the big test for Keefe, and it's going to happen because it happens with every pairing.
Right.
But it's when he decides to split up Matthews and Nylander. Whether it's in the game, whether it's in general before a game, and it doesn't have to be permanent.
Right.
But my concern when I see these two guys is they push and pull each other.
Right.
If one of them's rolling, the other one's like, all right, we're dancing tonight, let's go.
Right.
Feels like to me, if one of them's like, I'm not feeling it, the other guy's like, it's contagious.
Yeah.
How often have we seen, while Matthews was unreal, didn't notice Nylander, or vice versa? Very rarely.
Well, because they make life easier on each other, right?
Right.
Or harder on each other.
Or harder.
Because if the other guy's like, it's not my night, it shouldn't just be automatic that I'm not feeling it either, but it feels that way. And we saw that on Saturday night.
Does the absence of Janssen,
I don't think he's been great, though, this year. I think he's been okay.
But I think when you have, like Zach Hyman, predictable player.
Right.
Like every shift, you know exactly how he's going to play. So what happens is those skill guys migrate to that. They go, okay, he's going to go get the puck. I'm going to figure it out. I think Janssen is that for Matthews and Nylander a lot because he's more of a straight line, get in your face, grind it out. Even though he has some skill and speed, you're right. I don't think he's been brilliant this year, but I think he is, like, the wrong terminology, like a safety blanket. There's safeties on each line.
Yeah.
And he's your safety. And with him not there and other players shifting through, and I agree. I think they're tied together. At some point, would you put Kapanen with
well, that's the thing. Like you're not
Matthews?
Now you're not going to mess with Hyman, Tavares, Marner.
No.
They've been put back together and they're playing
they
well.
look good, yeah.
So I think you're going to stick with that. And I think long term, again, you sign Nylander to that money to play on one of the top two lines.
Yep.
So if it's not going to be with Tavares, then it's going to be with Matthews. But you know, I know a lot of people don't want to look back and give props to Mike Babcock these days, but we used to see it a lot the first couple years. When Matthews wasn't jumping, he put him with Hyman and Brown on purpose.
Yeah, remember in the playoffs?
And you know why that was? Because he's like, you better keep up with these two. They're going to motor. They might not have the skill,
Right.
but he was trying to drag Matthews into it. And that's what he was doing.
Well,
and that's the truth. And this isn't about bashing one or the other. It's a tandem at this point. And both of them, I think, overall have had a good year. Like, I have no problems with their overall stats and production.
Yeah, this is just in a vacuum in one game.
Well,
and
there were a couple on the road trip.
But also what we see. Like, it's not, you're right, we're not lining up to kick them in the nuts.
No.
It's more like if they're tied together, how do you get them going? Or how do you deal with a scenario where you're sitting behind the bench and you're watching, like, they don't got it tonight.
Both of them. Why is it a tandem?
Right.
Okay, one guy, you're not going to have a perfect night every night, but why isn't the other guy saying, I'll take over?
Right.
And, you know, that's going to be a part of the conversation, I'm sure, going forward.
Well, it'll be a big test for them tomorrow.
It's a big game tomorrow night.
Like, Buffalo's
coming off the road.
Yeah, and that's the one thing, you know, regardless if it's a built-in excuse or not, like that's
First
one
game
thing.
after a road trip.
First game after a road trip, you can't have that excuse, but sometimes it's there.